What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody. Look, I know you guys remember all of this hype that was coming out after the Thunderbolts dropped. Everybody is saying Marvel is back, baby. All right, this guy from Screen Rant, I'm convinced Marvel is back on track after the Thunderbolts reactions. Everybody was talking about it. People loved it. People couldn't shut up about how great the Thunderbolts was. All right, I personally thought that the movie was extremely mid. All right, it's just a very mid movie. It's nothing to write home about. But I was in the minority on that, especially when you look at the critic scores and the Rotten Tomatoes scores. People seem to love it. And I admit, okay, I'm in the minority. I'm not the audience for the Thunderbolts. A lot of people seem to like it. But I kept saying at that time, hey, how is it going to do in the box office? Is this movie going to move the needle? All right. Is it going to make its money back? Is it going to bring hype back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Because that's what they need to do. And the answer was an astounding, resounding no. All right. It didn't make its money back. It lost money, as a matter of fact. Only $377 million in the worldwide box office. That's based on a $180 million budget and $100 million in the marketing. All right, so this movie needed to get somewhere in the range of $550 to $560 million just to break even. It's not going to get anywhere near that. All right, it's coming to an end. It's running out the clock at this point. So, yeah, there's nothing left for the Thunderbolts. And Variety was talking about it here with this article that came out. Thunderbolts lost millions of dollars despite great reviews. Where does Marvel go next? You know what? Before I dig into this article, I actually got to give Variety a little bit of credit because they're one of the few mainstream publications that does call out stuff when they see it. They call out the obvious. Hey, Marvel ain't getting the job done. All right, Marvel is not doing what they used to do. You guys might remember this article, this Crisis at Marvel article that came out a couple of years ago. Yeah, also Variety. You know, I remember this because this is right when we saw this Captain Marvel movie flopping and failing. Everybody was like, what's going on? Jonathan Majors going through all of their shit. And you never see articles like this, all right, or this coming out of Deadline or the Hollywood Reporter. It seems like it's always Variety. Or if those other publications do talk about it, they're talking about the Variety article, all right, that came out. They're like covering Variety stuff. So again, I got to give Variety some credit. You know, they're still a shill media site. Don't get it twisted. But at least they're willing to actually have a conversation that a lot of fans are having. Hey, Marvel is fucking up right now. Where do they go next? I'm going to tell you what they should do next as we stare at this current trash slate that they got popping up. All right, here's what's coming up next. Ironheart, Fantastic Four. That tells you everything you need to know if you've been following these two projects. You know, this franchise is falling fast and it needs a reboot and a reset. But before they get there, they honestly need some time. They need to take a couple of years off. The Marvel Cinematic Universe needs to fall back out of the conversation altogether. I don't know whether that's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I don't know how long they need to do that, but they need to do that. No Disney Plus TV shows, no movies, nothing. You know, with maybe the possible exception of some of those one-shot specials like they did with Werewolf by Night, stuff like that. Okay, if you want to make those, make those. But you're not doing a full-blown series. You're not doing a movie. They need to fall all the way back and reassess what the hell is going on over there. I liken it to a sports analogy. Like, you know, you're getting your ass kicked at the first half. In the first half of a game, you're getting your ass kicked. What do we need to do? We need halftime. All right, we need to get to the halftime locker room. And then we need to sit down, figure out what the hell it is that we're doing wrong. And we need to come back in the second half and try to win the game. We got to make some second half adjustments. All right, we need to strategize. Where did we mess up in the first half? You can't fix some stuff on the field. You can't sit there and we'll just coach our way around it. We'll figure it out on the field. And it don't work like that. You need the locker room. You need that halftime break. That's what Marvel needs right now. They need to fall back because it happens every time. I've coached sports. It happens every time. If you try to fix it on the field, here's what happens. Your players get demoralized. The coaches get more and more confused. And then the fans just hit the exits. They're like, deuces, I'm gone, man. Yeah, this team don't got it. We'll see y'all next week. That's where Marvel is at right now, man. The fans have checked the fuck out. The fans have hit the exits. And that's why you see this, all right? That's why you see this for a movie that's supposedly good. The fans are gone. International fans as well. Normally, Marvel does much better on the international front. So from a domestic standpoint, from the international, fans have checked the fuck out. And they're waiting for Marvel to get their shit together. Marvel, you got to go back and fix your shit. All right. But yeah, let's go through this article real quick. Let's see what Variety is talking about, what they got to say. Days after Thunderbolts hit the big screen, Disney CEO Bob Iger was feeling celebratory. He publicly touted the comic book adventure as the first and best example of Marvel's new movie strategy, referring to the film's positive reception from audiences and critics. And what a relief following a bumpy few years and a string of poorly reviewed misfires in the franchise. 6 weeks later, Thunderbolts has cratered at the box office. It's 371 million globally. I guess, you know, they didn't get an update, but yes, 377. It is one of the lowest grossing installments in all of Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe. If this is the second coming of Marvel, the superhero empire might need another reboot. It absolutely needs a reboot. People have checked out. These characters are stale. Nobody knows who they are. They're not about to go watch all of the Disney Plus shows to catch up. A lot of those shows are trash. They've just introduced so many characters, and you're like, what are they going to do with this character? What are they going to do with Moon Knight? You know, are they going to use Moon Knight going forward? Probably not. You know, they probably need to shelve She-Hulk. That was a good character. They fucked She-Hulk up, made She-Hulk super toxic. People ain't going to want to check for She-Hulk. Yeah, they go on. Marvel's calculus has changed, says Sean Robbins, Fandango's movies analytics director. We're in a new era where not every Marvel movie is going to hit $1 billion. We've always been in that era. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. From the very get-go, we know that not every Marvel movie is going to hit a billy. I think they've only made 9 movies, if I'm not mistaken, that have hit that number. You know, most of their movies crash out lower than that. Like he talks about it here. Yeah, pre-pandemic, 19 out of the 22 movies at least cracked 500 million globally. But then they said since 2020, only 6 out of 13 films have reached the $500 million benchmark. Yeah, that's because everybody got tired of it. All right. They don't explain why. That's the one thing that this article doesn't do. They don't talk about MCU. They don't talk about, hell, they've been pushing an agenda for the last 5 years, and that's the reason why only 6 out of the 13 films have even got to 500 million globally, because they've been pushing agenda. Like, who was going to check out the Eternals once you heard, oh, yeah, this is just agenda all day? Nobody's going to check that shit out. Same thing with the Marvels. Same thing with the Thunderbolts. You got like female characters leading the way. I guarantee you, if they made that movie about Bucky and John Walker, it would have hit $500 million globally. Thunderbolts I'm talking about. And it probably would have been a better movie too. Again, they've forgotten who their audience is. They've forgotten who's coming to watch your movies. Even stuff like the Marvels. I talk about it all the time. Even stuff like the Marvels, you know, that failed magnificently at the box office, barely scraped over $200 million. 65% of the audience that went to see this girl boss fiesta were guys. That's what it is. Marvel's forgotten who their audience is. And they're making movies for audiences that don't exist. And those audiences, they don't exist, so they don't show up. And that's why only 6 out of 13 films have reached $500 million. Marvel, honestly, like the sweet spot shouldn't even be 500 million. It probably should be about 400 million, somewhere between 400 and 500 million dollars. Marvel should budget appropriately according to that number. They say, all right, man, look, we only probably going to get maybe 400, 450 on this movie, especially one movie like the Thunderbolts. We only going to get about that amount of money. So yeah, let's make sure we don't spend that much. Spend about maybe 120, 140, somewhere in that range, million. And, you know, we'll get that money back, and then it'll be a success. And then we can feel encouraged to make other things. At least February's Captain America Brave New World and 2023's The Marvel and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania could blame their disastrous grosses on terrible reviews. Thunderbolts had enthusiastic word of mouth, but is yet to climb out of the red, suggesting there's a new ceiling for superhero movies that aren't based on marquee characters. Well, I mean, yeah, that's true too. But I'm telling you, if they make Thunderbolts about Bucky and John Walker, I guarantee you that thing hits at least $500 million. I guarantee it. That would have brought more dudes in. They would have been like, oh, this looks great, man. This looks awesome. Okay, we got a couple of guys going up against an evil threat, the Sentry. Oh, man, I wonder what's going to happen. More dudes would have walked into this saying, okay, this is about the guys again. A couple of white dudes as well. But who was the lead character? Yelena. Oh, this is a Yelena movie. I'm not coming to watch a Yelena movie. Y'all can call it Thunderbolts all you want to. But I'm coming to watch a Yelena movie. I know it. Your brain tells you that's exactly what it is you're about to watch. And a lot of dudes was like, nah, I'm good. Normie fans was like, nah, I don't like this little whining girl that I've been seeing in the trailers. I'm good. I don't even know who Yelena's character is. Why am I watching this? Yeah, I'm telling you. They got to start appealing to the male audience once again. But until they do that, they're going to continue to be where they're at. A diminished global marketplace, oversaturation of superhero stories on the big and small screen are partly responsible for the decline. Again, they'll tell you it's everything but the MCU. Oh, it's superhero fatigue. It's oversaturation of superhero stories. No, MCU. Deadpool and Wolverine had two beloved characters, and they said, hey, we like Deadpool. Hey, we like Wolverine. We're coming to the theaters. $1 billion. Again, I don't know, man. These guys, again, they at least address some of these issues. They don't try to gaslight you and tell you that Marvel's doing great. Marvel's back. But yeah, they're not touching on what really needs to be talked about. Okay? Audiences' tastes and habits have also shifted. Not really. People have always liked, kid-friendly films like Minecraft and Lilo and Stitch. Those have always done well. What is this guy talking about? All right? Original fares like, those movies have always done well. These lower-tier comic book movies aren't cinematic slam dunks anymore. They never were. They were only good in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because of the brand Marvel had built by making good movies. That's the only reason some of those movies worked. Outside of, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it doesn't matter. You're not going to take off Birds of Prey, all right? How did that do? How did the Suicide Squads do? People are not interested in movies like these second-tier, lower-tier comic book characters. People are not interested in those movies in a broken, defunct universe. And Marvel's proving that. You got to have the universe in. That's why they got to reboot, all right? That's why they got to reboot, because they used to be able to do stuff like, hey, we could turn Guardians of the Galaxy into like a $700, $800 million movie. And nobody knows anything about these characters, but because it's in the MCU, where the MCU is healthy and it's thriving and they're making good movies, Captain America's working, Iron Man's working, Thor is working, because it's in that universe, and we know it's leading up to something, a big event film, people wanted to keep up, right? That's why those lower tier, like Ant-Man, I think Ant-Man made a $500 million. Like, everything was making money in phases 2 and 3. But when you get to phase 4, yeah, pandemic aside, a lot of the shit that they dropping, it's just not worth it. Again, they're not focusing on the audience that they need to try to attract. That's the biggest issue. Thunderbolts wrapping up just after a month in theaters is also a concern. These films aren't legging it out like previous iterations. They know these things are top heavy at the very beginning. That first weekend, that's when everybody's coming to watch this. The main audience is going to be that first weekend. Until this universe gets its legs back and gets out of the halftime locker room with a better strategy. All right, man, this is what we're going to do second half. Until they make those adjustments, it's going to continue to be the same thing. Audiences are waiting to see the MCU get back to MCU shit. And I can tell y'all right now that this ain't going to get it done. Okay, Dominique Thorne teases her return as Ironheart in Avengers Doomsday. All right, putting Ironheart in Avengers Doomsday ain't going to get it done, Marvel. I'm sorry. All right, this ain't going to work. This ain't going to bring the fans back, all right? I wouldn't even allow this rumor to get out the barn. I would be out, if I was Marvel, I would be out debunking this rumor right now. Oh, what? Ironheart and Doomsday, where you hear that from? Oh, hey, no. That's some Reddit post shit. Nah, we ain't doing that. I would be debunking the hell out of that. Man, because this girl show up in Doomsday, that's one more reason for me not to go and see this movie in theaters. That's what a lot of people are going to say. Oh, she's in Doomsday? Yeah, this movie gonna be trash. I'm good. I'll wait for Disney Plus, you know? Like, geez, man, yeah. Stop all of this stuff. Man, look, I'm telling you, man, right now, DC is about to start running laps all over Marvel, man. If Superman is good, right, it already has crushed Fantastic Four in the ticket sales battle. And I think it's going to do amazing numbers in the box office. That's just my prediction. But yeah, I think Superman is about to come and kick ass. I think James Gunn might be on to something, bro. Is cooking right now. He cooking up his DC universe. And it seems like everybody's starting to get excited, starting to get behind it, starting to say, okay, all right, we got a DC universe now. And it looks like we might get a very interesting take on the superhero genre, something we haven't seen before. All right, let's see what James Gunn got for us. And Marvel is going to get absolutely left in the dust. So, yeah, they better figure things out quickly. But, yeah, otherwise, look, this right here, okay, this is their fate, all right? If they don't push pause, if they don't get to the halftime locker room, all right, we're going to be finishing this scoreboard up with epic fail, what the fuck, flop, trash. I think maybe even Wonder Man might be scrapped or put on hold, one of the two. But yeah, man, this is disaster all day long, man. They got to figure some shit out. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Go ahead, jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.